when I do workshops in my current role right now, a lot of the stories I tell are things that happened, to really simplify some of these concepts that we're talking about, because ultimately it's about belonging. Do I feel a sense of belonging here? And so when we put all of those pieces together, like asking people those questions, one of my favorite ones, and she's a friend and we've talked about it, where, we were in a meeting and my friend is going off and then she comes to debrief, as you know, it often happens. And she's debriefing and she's saying, and then this, and then that. She's still very upset about it. And I'm like, I agree with you. I agree. And then at some point she said, well, if you agree, why didn't you say anything in there?
Oh.
And I said, well, you're white, I'm black.
Oh.
And I didn't want, I have to think about the angry black woman. And I feel like I still have so much to say to be defined by one moment. So when I get angry, I want to be angry and I want to sit in that anger and own the anger. And unfortunately, this didn't rise to that level for me, although I agree with everything you say. And then when we debriefed, she paused, walked away. And then when we started talking about it, this was years ago, and we recently talked about it again, for her, she was like, and I thought about a couple of Black women I had worked with in my career who I had resented for not speaking up in those moments.
Wow.
Never knowing, feeling like they were leaving me out to hang and dry.
Right.
Not knowing that they probably were thinking about the impact it would have on them as Black women. And I said, and for me, instead of having that cloud all the time, maybe sometimes I could afford to take more risk, right? To lean in more into the conversation and challenge a little bit more, as opposed to always being concerned about whether or not it's safe. But that thinking about how we have those conversations, those were before I even ever thought about having a title on DEI, where I'll go say, okay, here's something. How would you handle this as someone who has a different background than I do? But that those things being clear on the goal that we want, or sort of what I want, because I can only control me. I can't control how the person receiving the message. And I think those things, building those relationships across difference, really help to facilitate, because I'm like, I'm a Black woman. Don't say I'm a strong Black woman, because I am a Black woman who's strong, who's emotional, who's joyful, who's happy, like all of those things. I embrace all of it. Don't put me in just one of those corners. Who gets angry too a lot.
Right. all women get angry.
Right.
All women, all colors. It's not, I don't know why they made this angry Black woman a theme, when the reality is that's not what it is. When we voice our opinions on how we feel about what's being done to us, we are now angry. And all women voice their opinions, and all women of all walks of life and all color at some point get angry about something.